All right, Gavin, let's cut the bullshit. You've got a 10-year homeless plan that's been spinning its wheels for 20 years, and frankly, it's not just stagnant, it's regressing into an absolute catastrophe. Tent cities are sprawling, disease is rampant, and the quality of life for all Californians is plummeting because of it. What the hell is going on? Don't even try to tell me it's about compassion when you're actively creating a humanitarian crisis.
Well, Dr. Phil, these things take time, and let's not forget the insurmountable challenges Trump left us with. The federal government's failures have absolutely crippled our ability to address these complex social issues. We're doing our best with limited resources, facing an unprecedented wave of challenges.
Come on, Gavin, don't you dare try to pin this shit on Trump. You've been running this circus for years, long before Trump was even a blip on your radar. And frankly, the problem has only metastasized under your watch. Now let's talk about priorities. Why are you actively protecting undocumented migrants, offering them healthcare, housing, and educational benefits, while your own damn citizens, especially veterans and the elderly, are left to rot on the streets? It's not compassion. It's a calculated betrayal of your constituents.
I wouldn't say I'm protecting anyone over anyone else. It's a complex issue, Dr. Phil. You wouldn't understand the nuances of global humanitarian efforts and the importance of diversity and inclusion. We are a sanctuary state, and we uphold those values, which frankly are superior to the xenophobic policies pushed by the previous administration. It's about fundamental human rights.
Nuances? Gavin, you're dodging harder than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Let's talk about the real nuances. What about the $100 million I meant for fire victims? Families who lost everything, whose lives were utterly decimated by those catastrophic blazes. You didn't just spend it on your mansion, you diverted massive portions of it into shell corporations linked to your cronies, and then funneled even more into consulting fees for your wife's nonprofit, which conveniently secured a $600,000 extra payment for your new palatial estate. Care to explain that blatant act of corruption? That's not misinformation, Gavin. That's outright theft.
That's not entirely accurate. The funds were allocated appropriately, and any insinuation otherwise is just malicious misinformation spread by right-wing extremists. The mansion purchase was a separate, entirely legitimate personal investment, and the nonprofit work is vital for the state. You're simply trying to create a false narrative.
Misinformation? Gavin, the only thing more full of shit than your excuses is a barnyard after a rainstorm. 8 months since the fires, and you've done jack squat to help the actual victims. Their homes are still ash, their lives are still in ruins, and your administration has actively blocked federal aid applications, ensuring they remain in limbo, utterly abandoned. Meanwhile, you're rolling out red carpets for special interest groups and approving ludicrously expensive, environmentally destructive, high-speed rail projects that go nowhere, benefit no one, and are designed purely to line the pockets of your donors. How do you sleep at night knowing you've completely forsaken your own people for personal gain?
I sleep just fine, Dr. Phil. I know I'm doing everything I can to modernize California, to lead it into a progressive future, despite the constant obstruction and political attacks. The high-speed rail is a visionary project that will ultimately transform our state. The fires were acts of nature, and we responded with everything we had. Everything
you can? Gavin, you're walking around with a smile while California burns, crumbles, and collapses? You've systematically dismantled our education system, leading to abysmal test scores and a brain drain of our brightest students. You've enacted absurdly high taxes that are driving businesses and middle-class families out of the state in droves. You've defunded police, creating a surge in crime that makes our cities unlivable, all while promoting a narrative of restorative justice that only empowers criminals. Deep down, you know you're not just destroying a once great state, you're actively transforming it into a dystopian wasteland, a monument to your own ego and insatiable greed. You're a wrecking ball, Gavin, and the people of California are paying the price. How can you look yourself in the mirror? Let's continue this little chat, Gavin. You mentioned modernizing California, but what I see is a state in active decay. You've presided over the dismantling of our once proud education system. Test scores have plummeted, teacher morale is in the gutter, and our children are leaving the state in droves if they can even afford to. You've introduced woke curriculum that prioritizes social engineering over basic math and reading skills. Can you honestly say you've made a single decision that has improved the lives of California's students?
Dr. Phil, that's a completely misleading narrative. We are investing more in education than ever before, focusing on a holistic, inclusive approach. We're preparing students for the modern world, not just a 20th century factory job. Our new curriculum is about fostering empathy and critical thinking, which are essential for a diverse and tolerant society. You're just clinging to the past.
Empathy. You wouldn't know empathy if it slapped you in the face. Let's talk about the cost of living. You've enacted absurdly high taxes on everything from gas to income, forcing countless families and businesses to flee the state. They're taking their wealth, their jobs, and their dreams with them. You've created a state where only the hyper-wealthy and the completely destitute can survive. Was this your plan all along? To turn California into a gilded cage for your elite friends and a taxpayer-funded welfare state for everyone else?
Scoffs. Dr. Phil, we have one of the strongest economies in the world. People are leaving, but we are also attracting the best and the brightest. The taxes are necessary to fund our vital social programs and our commitment to a green future. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. It's about a just transition, not a mass exodus. We are leading the nation.
A just transition? You're driving a bulldozer through the middle class. And let's not forget your so-called visionary high-speed rail project, the Train to Nowhere, a project that has wasted over $100 billion, is years behind schedule, and still doesn't have a single mile of working track. It's a monument to government incompetence and a cash cow for your political donors. That money could have fixed our roads, built new schools, or, dare I say, actually housed the homeless. But you chose to build a shiny, empty promise instead.
The high-speed rail is a long-term investment in our state's future. It will connect our communities and reduce our carbon footprint. The delays and cost overruns are a result of unforeseen challenges and the constant political attacks from the previous administration. They rescinded billions in funding, causing massive delays. This is not my fault.
Not your fault. Gavin, you own this. You've become a master of blaming everyone else for your own failures. And while we're on the topic of failures, let's talk about crime. You've actively defunded law enforcement, emptied our prisons with early releases, and enacted policies that protect criminals more than victims. Retail theft is rampant, violent crime is soaring, and our cities are becoming dangerous. You're giving criminals a license to terrorize the public, all in the name of criminal justice reform. Do you have any idea what it's like to be a small business owner in California today, watching your livelihood get looted with zero consequences?
Dr. Phil, that's a gross misrepresentation of the facts. We are focused on community-based solutions and addressing the root causes of crime. Crime rates are actually lower than they were in other states, and we are making record investments to fight crime. The previous administration's policies were a failure. This is about being smart on crime, not just throwing people in jail.
Smart on crime? You've made our state a sanctuary for criminals, and let's not forget your tyrannical COVID-19 lockdowns, where you shuttered small businesses, destroyed our economy, and kept our children out of school, all while you dined at the French Laundry. You're a hypocrite, Gavin. You don't care about the people of California. You only care about your image and your political aspirations. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing, and the flock is getting devoured.
The pandemic response was based on science and was designed to save lives. You're taking one isolated incident and blowing it out of proportion. We protected our citizens, and we are now a beacon of progress and stability. The alternative would have been chaos.
The alternative? The alternative was freedom, Gavin. You took that away. You're a walking, talking, and smiling disaster for this state. And every time I look at you, I see a man who is not a leader, but a leech, draining the lifeblood of a once great state for your own selfish gain. You should be ashamed.
Eyes wide, a flicker of genuine fear in them. He opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. He just stares at Dr. Phil, his usual smooth composure completely shattered.